Welcome back to my channel. It's all about you. Today's topic, we are going to be discussing hair color. I get asked a lot about if I could color my hair, if it's relaxed, or what kind of color I should use, and a lot of many other different questions about hair color. Now, just so you know, even if you're relaxed, you can safely color your hair. It just depends on what kind of color and how high volume, which you will try to use, will determine how your hair reacts to the color. I see a lot of my ladies, you know, got a little gray showing and everything, and you may want to color your hair. Well, let's talk about some of the different colors that they have. All right, I got my list. So first, let's talk about rinse, like a color rinse. What is a color rinse? A color rinse is something that will not last in your hair. It only sits on the top layer of your hair, and it will rinse out within probably, I would say, 4 shampoos. It's probably gonna rinse out. It may leave a little tinge, depends on how pigmented it is, but most likely you cannot really cover gray with a rinse. Most of the time you can't. So it's one of the colors that you do not have to mix anything, no developer, no solution, just it normally comes straight out of the bottle and you put it on. It says probably sit for maybe 15-20 minutes and then shampoo it out. And you can probably do that if you're trying to just maybe give your hair a little more richness. Say if you have brown hair and you want to go darker, you would use like a dark brown on top of your brown hair, and it will kind of give you a more darker, richer look. And you can do that safe. And they have different colors. They have brown, they have reds, they have a variety of different colors, but it won't last because it's just a rinse. So as you shampoo your hair, it will rinse out very easily. So like I said, it just sits on the top of the hair, and it's not a lot of penetration with a rinse. Sometimes you can get them to cover gray a little, just to give it a tint. If you want, like if you get like a auburn rinse or a brown rinse, you may can get it to cover somewhat, but it won't last. It's nothing long term. And one thing about rinse, since they fade so easily, they may come off on your clothes, on your sheets, on your linen. So you may not want to use a rinse. It depends on what you're using it for, and if it's something very temporary you just want to try, you can use it. It won't hurt. Just because you don't have to put any developer with it, that's a good thing, because now you're not really opening the cuticle. It's just kind of sitting on the top. Okay, that's rinse. Okay, now let's talk about semi-permanent. A semi-permanent color penetrates the cuticle. Not a lot, just a little bit. It penetrates the cuticle. So let me see how I can explain it. It depends on what volume you use. Normally with a semi-permanent, you use about maybe no more than 20 volume. You probably use a solution, or some of them have a solution like a depositing lotion. Some of them have a 5 volume, a 3 volume. You really can't use a semi no more than 20 volume. If you go higher than a 20 volume, you're getting more into a Demi. And you can also make it somewhat permanent, because the higher the volume of developer, the more it's going to open up the cuticle and allow that product in. So some semis, you don't have to use no developer. Some semis, some companies have formulated where you put them in and they sit for a longer time, and they're able to somewhat penetrate the cuticle and give you a color, even covering gray. Now I have not had a lot of success with covering gray, but when I say covering, meaning if you want to go black and you use a semi-permanent rinse, most likely it won't completely cover it. It'll tint it, give it like a hue, and sometimes it's not a very good color, a nice look. But if you're using like a red or auburn or you know, some of the pastel colors like the purples and pinks, you probably can get some coverage if you're using it to do that. But to cover gray, you may want to do a Demi. Demi is a little bit stronger than semi to me. I could be wrong, but with my experience, Demi covers better because it actually goes in, and I think it's because it's more pigmented. Most of the colors in Demis are more pigmented. The pigment is stronger and it's able to give you a more of a coverage. And then the Demis that I use, you can use a 10 volume, a 5 volume. You can even probably use a 20 volume. But like I say, the higher the volume, the more it's going to open up the cuticle. And most Demis can be used after a relaxer. I wouldn't use a 20 volume though. If you're going to use a Demi after relaxer, you should use a solution, a developing solution, or you should use no more than 10 volume. You're pushing it when it's 10 volume. For me, I'll use the solution, or I will use a 5 volume, or even down to a 3, but no higher than that. You're pushing it. Depends on the person's hair. If the hair is strong and, you know, as a stylist, you have to make that determination, you could probably go with a 10, but I would definitely not use a 20. No higher than a 10. And what a Demi does is give you coverage. It's going to give you coverage. It's not going, because you're only using up to a 10 volume, it's not going to penetrate your cuticle completely like a 20 volume and higher developer will. 20, 30, 40, 50, they go up that high. You know, it won't penetrate as much because it's opening up the cuticle, but it's just putting enough pigment in there to cover your gray, and or you know, if you're going black, it will cover, make your hair black. If you're going brown, it won't, I'm not gonna lie, it probably won't cover the gray. It will tint it to a brown color, but that makes it look like you got highlights. You know, you see people color their hair and it look like they use their gray as highlights. Like me, I do that because I'm probably about, I would say 85% gray, and I color my hair and I use a Demi color, and I'm able to get the coverage. I use like an auburn color, like a auburn type color, and it actually covers my gray. The name of the color is Terracotta from Easy Q by Reckon. That's the one I use. It's really good. It's a Demi color. Okay, so the next color we have is, we talked about semi, Demi, and permanent. Now, permanent color can be used, I know people gonna get me on this one, but can be used on relaxed hair only if the hair is well taken care of and don't have any damage to it. You know, if it already have damage, you're damaging it more even using color, period. You know, so you don't want to damage hair more if it's already damaged. You know, and once, this is with any color. If you're using color, you are going to have to treat your hair very delicately. Okay, I call it baby in the hair. You're gonna have to deep condition it often, treat it with a protein, a strengthener, some kind of strengthener often, because you are using two chemicals on your hair. Relaxer, color. It's a chemical. If you can't eat it, it's a chemical. Okay, I don't know You know, people saying, oh, it's this vegan, whatever. If you can't eat it, it's a chemical. Okay? So you can use color safely. Don't be afraid to use color. For my girls out there that I see, got a little grays up in there. Get your Demi color. And your natural, you can use a Demi color. Now listen, anything that's a chemical is gonna dry your hair out. But our natural girl, you guys know how to take care of your hair and put that moisture back in there. You know how to deep condition your hair, because that's what you're going to have to do. And you're going to have to do it a little bit more often. But the good thing about a Demi color, it does not fade like a semi. You know, and even if you decide to do permanent, again, what you're going to have to do is stay up on your deep conditioning treatments and taking care of your hair like you are doing now. If you get color, you're just going to have to do it more. Now, you know, I know some people get highlights when they're natural and highlights when you are relaxed. But let me tell you about this. I did one of my clients and she's relaxed and she wanted highlights and color. And as I do, I had my consultation. I said, if I do this, we are pushing the limit. We're pushing the limit when you're doing a relaxer. Highlights, when you do highlights, you have to use bleach and color. So if I do this, you're going to have to come back and let me treat your hair every week so that I can make sure and keep on top of your hair. It can be done, but it's a lot of work and a lot of treating of the hair. It can be done. Right now, this particular client hair is doing wonderful. It's growing so much, she's getting tired of it. She's trying to, you know, I put a weave in there because she, you know, she don't want to deal with her hair. And the weave is up here, her hair past weave. But I was just happy that I had a client that allowed me to do that and show her as well with treating the hair when having relaxed and colored and highlighted hair. You can do it successfully if you use the right products, take care of the hair, you know, and make sure it stays healthy. You have to do that when you're getting color and putting chemicals in your hair. And that's with any chemical. Relaxer, color, you have to do extra steps to take care of the hair. You got to put in the work. You can't just get the color and say, okay, I got the color, and then next week or two, you don't deep condition and take care of your hair, and then don't use a high volume of color. It doesn't take a lot to cover gray. And that's why I'm really going to talk about my ladies who got a little couple of streaks of gray. Don't take a lot. Just find a Demi color, use it. Don't do no more. I wouldn't do no more than 10 volume, because you shouldn't need no more 10 volume developer to do a Demi. You know, you ain't trying to get too much in it. You're just trying to cover your gray. That's it. You can go black. You can go red, brown. What it's going to do is cover your gray. Even the black will cover your gray. But keep in mind, if you're going black and your hair color is not black, it's going to turn all your hair black. So make that decision of what color you want to go. If you're going lighter, then it's not going to cover your gray. It's going to tint your gray, and your gray is going to look like highlights, which is a very beautiful color. When it's done, it just turns the gray to a nice brown or a reddish hue or something like that, and it looks good. It's not gray. It's not white. You know, so don't be afraid to play with some color and cover your gray and turn your grays into natural highlights. It can be done safely, but you know, just put in the work as far as taking care of it after, because you can have beautiful colored hair being natural or relaxed, but you have to know what products to use them right, and treat that hair. I cannot stress that enough. You got to treat the hair. You cannot use, let me tell you what. And I always tell y'all these little stories, but I got to tell you this one. Make it quick. Young lady I met at work came in buying some conditioner. She went to another salon and they highlighted her hair. She said that her hair was all the way down to her back. Now, when they highlighted her hair, they probably used bleach. They probably used some color to tone it. She said she had hair all the way down her back, almost maybe touching her bottom. When she came in the salon, her hair was up to here. She said they had to cut it all off. Let me tell you something. And I told y'all, if you're not gonna do it yourself and you're going to a salon, please be educated. Know what you want. Be able to express that and talk to that stylist and let them know what you want. And make sure they are using what you told them that you want. Don't allow people to put things in your hair and you don't know what's going on. Don't do it, because if you can't have a relationship and communication with a stylist, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's your hair. Can't let people put anything in your hair. Now getting back to the story. The young lady hair, I'm going to tell you how hair supposed to be. Hair like this, cuticles. Cuticles are like clothes, overlapping each other like fish scales, right? The young lady hair was like this. It was just, the hair was fried like this, and then it was just cramped over like this here. And you can see it visibly. I hope I said that right. Visually. Okay? You can see it. Hair just, it was bad. She sat there, she said she sat there for 6 hours and allowed this person to highlight and color her hair. And she was coming in there to buy a deep conditioning treatment to try and fix it. Y'all know what I told her. Go get you some Olaplex. It ain't gonna fix it, but it'll help it. Because at this point, her hair was so fried, all she can do is just try to repair what she have and keep the rest on so it can grow out. It was bad. So, be educated about what kind of colors you're using on your hair, what people are using on your hair, and what you are using on your hair. Let me tell you something. If you use a 40 and 50 volume developer, you might as well use bleach when you add it to a color. Because you're lifting that cuticle. You're lifting that cuticle high to penetrate that color in there. Know that. It can be done. But know what you're doing when you do it. And be willing to put in the work to treat your hair afterwards. You ain't got to walk around with the little grays. Y'all can color y'all hair. Don't be scared. Okay? It can be done. Okay? I know that for me, I don't like my gray. It aged me. Okay? It aged me. And I see these little 20-some-year-olds with them little grays, and I'm thinking, I know they may want to color that. I don't know. But some people like their gray. I ain't knocking the gray, because some young ladies that have a full head of gray looks beautiful on them. But it's not for me. I tried it. I didn't like it. So I just want to let y'all know a little bit about using color. You can use color. Text me. You message me. Ask me about it. Because there's a lot of different brands out there. There's a lot of good brands out there. So, if you have any questions, message me and I hope I can answer them for you. Okay? Thank you so much for listening again. Like I say, it's all about you, and you have a great day.
Baby, can you feel me? Imagining I'm looking in your eyes, I can see you.